I'm back on here again, just for a short time again, because I get off, I just keep coming, and like, so I gotta say this, I gotta speak on this. So I'm just waiting to see who come up in this motherfucker. Come on in. We gotta talk about this one. Cause this year, I was actually coming back on here anyway because I seen something, and it had something to do with DJ Ghost. But I gotta address this Charlie Kirk shit and everything that's been going on. It's and the only reason why I haven't really just gone in on it, I've made my couple posts or whatever, but the only reason why I haven't gone in on it is because I've had other things going on that takes priority. But I have been watching, Whenever you guys don't hear me speak on certain things, it doesn't mean that I'm not watching. I just haven't spoke on it because I watch everything. I see everything that's going on. I don't always speak on it, but I watch everything that's going on. I know what's going on. So I'm watching this thing about DJ Ghost and this Baltimore Hoover named Shorty talking about he pressed DJ Ghost at the airport. That's some bullshit. So in the midst of that, I was like, okay, let me go on over here and watch some of Spider's shit that he's put up. So I start off with one video, and then I go over and I start watching some of the his Charlie Kirk content. Now at the top, his last video he just posted up. I'm not even gonna watch that because I don't even think I even want to hear that. Charlie, they didn't make Charlie Kirk Day. Really? Charlie Kirk Day? I'll see you in there, guys. Charlie Kirk Day. People over here just, this is my problem with America. This is my problem with America, and I have pointed this out. And this is the reason why I call people. This is why I say the words that I say in reference to people. And this is a clear example of this. So people keep saying opinion. He should have died because of his opinions and his opinions and his opinions. This is what I want people to see, and this is where understanding and trying to not necessarily be in other people's shoes, but just an understanding of why people feel the way that they feel. And to the people that like Charlie Kirk and feel that he never said anything wrong. Well, this is what I want to ask y'all. What he said about them black women being the only reason why they made it to the top was because of affirmative action. This man has said a lot of disparaging things towards my community. Now, you may feel, well, what he said was correct, but how can you necessarily say that it was correct when he's offended the majority of my community? I'm not talking about the Sambos, the Tethers, the Coons, the Tokens. I'm not referring to them. I'm talking about the black community. And yes, everybody does have their own opinion. But when your opinion offends people under a notion of lies, misrepresentation, and then using the notion, well, I'm cool with this black person, so that must not make me racist. And this is where I gotta tell you people, you need to stop with the insult of intelligence around here. Because y'all know I'm a very intelligent person and I'm not going for the bullshit. A lot of people think that just because somebody white has somebody black, that somehow they're not racist. Well, would you say that the same way about the slave owner that allowed certain black people to come into the house? Let that one sink in. I'm gonna repeat that. Would you say that same thing about the slave owner letting certain black people into the house? They eat good, they can wash, fresh clothes, but they're only racist to the ones that are out there on the field, on the plantation? The number one thing that a racist would do is to surround themselves around certain black people to try to prove that, hey, look, I got black people around me, so I can't be racist. That is one of the most insulting things you can say to my community. Because you can't dictate how my community feels when somebody outside of my community says disparaging things about my community. Where is the outrage when they're sitting up there blaming us for what happened? And it was clear as day, it was another white man that did the shit. Why are we even in this discussion of Charlie Kirk? That has nothing to do with us, but somehow we're involved. And now you have these Republicans basically saying an eye for an eye. And now we start seeing all these things happening. Jimmy Kimmel loses his show, people losing their jobs and all this stuff for this one person. They ain't never did this for nobody else. What is it about this person that is so important? Has anybody really delved into that? Because this ain't happening just because. And I've even seen some people even use the word martyr. I like to use the word sacrificial. The excuse to allow somebody or a group of people to act on a situation based off of what happened to one of their people. So now we can say, okay, well, now that happened to him, so now we got to go strike. Why is there such an increase? Why is the recruitment going up for these white supremacy groups after Charlie Kirk did when it wasn't even us that did it? As a matter of fact, the guy that did it comes from a MAGA family. You see what I'm saying? Using the excuse to try to cause harm onto us, popping up in our neighborhoods and shit. Like what? But I don't see people, this cherry picking of madness and outrage and all this has to stop. Because there's innocent people getting hurt because of this. We have to stop with this one-sided thinking that we tend to do. Regardless if you like somebody or not. Look, and y'all heard me speak. I love Malcolm X. But I don't agree with everything Malcolm did, especially towards the end of his life. And it was, it was us that was involved. And when I mean us, I mean the Nation of Islam. Not us per se as a whole, but the Nation of Islam was responsible for killing another black man. But did you see black people going out with this outrage against white people, blaming white people for? No. What we did was we said, no, we know who was behind all this, so that's who we're going after. People want to be mad when they want to be mad. But you have to keep that energy across the board. Excuse me. You got to keep that energy across the board. Trying to tell people why they should not be mad off of the things that he said. Keep in mind, this is the other thing people have to understand with all this madness. People have died for less. Where was the anger out of that? I didn't see people jumping out of their bodies whenever somebody getting killed because somebody done killed somebody for $5. But I don't see people jumping out their bodies when that happens. And then, we gonna keep it real? We gonna keep it real? We gonna keep it real? Donald Trump is the reason for what happened. That's Donald Trump is the reason why this happened. Why I say Trump? Because it was Trump during his first term that started all this fucking rage and anger, and he fueled that, and he kept fueling it. And now, during his second term, we have to go back to what the man said about getting revenge and not giving a fuck. Doing things that you probably shouldn't be doing. The man said you shouldn't have empathy for people. I'm not misquoting that man saying that. That came out of that man's mouth. Saying things about the black community when you have no idea what it is to be in the black community. What, the black community is just all the one and the same? And that's where people in America really think that the black community is all one and the same. And we're not. There's different levels. But every time that he opened up his mouth, he would try to put all of us in this bubble and throw a lot of misinformation out there. But nobody's not saying nothing. The ones that agree with Charlie Kirk ain't saying nothing. They're quiet on that. I, you can't tell me or any other black person how to feel no more than I can tell a Latino person how to feel, or an Asian person how to feel, or even a white person how to feel. But it seems like every time that we step up and we say something and we speak out on things that are disrespectful to my community, people look at us like, oh well, why are you mad? You shouldn't be mad. He's telling the truth. You guys da 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 da. Is it? Do we have issues in the black community? Yes, we do. But the reason is why he said, come on now. The reason for violence in the black community is because, what did he say? Because of fatherless households. That's the like, huh? See, stuff like that is a complete lie. Does it play a part? Absolutely. But this is where he fucked up at. Them fatherless households didn't come into fruition until the 3-strike laws got implemented. So, what you gotta say about that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, what's up, Ghost? I didn't see you in here. My bad, my bad. Now, I don't think anybody should die over an opinion. No. But the reality, and this is where we got to stop with this one-sided thinking. Nobody should die over an opinion. But when opinions are filled in with lies, misinformation, yeah, people get upset about that. You know what I'm saying? And for all of us that have grew up in neighborhoods where violence occurs a lot, we've seen people get killed just because somebody told them to shut up. Did you have the same outrage? Did you? Would you have the same outrage because some little kid was outside playing and got hit with a stray bullet? Because of some issues going on with a bunch of grown-ups? You know, and all this talk about free speech. Let's talk about it. Yeah, it's part of, you know, it's part of the First Amendment, free speech and all that. It's in the Constitution. Let me inform everybody on something. And I pointed this out in replying to a comment in one of my posts. Free speech is only for those that are in control. I'm going to say that again. Free speech is only for those that are in control. There is no such thing as free speech. And it's been shown that time and time and time and time again. There is no such thing as free speech. Because if it ain't some feminist organization trying to cancel somebody, it's another group that's trying to cancel somebody because of what they said. But even with all of that, I still did not see the same outrage as I do with this dude. Yo, what up, Daniel? You have to understand that when people say things, you have to account for everything. For everything. And you can't ignore what myself or the brothers in the chat, the brothers on the corner, the brothers at the barbershop, the sisters at the salon, how we all feel when we hear people say things about our community that are not true. It's that, what you call that? It's along the lines of selective thinking, where you choose to not speak on something or pay attention to something. Because this man done said a lot of disgusting things, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are ignoring that, and they're using the excuse of, well, he was just doing that. Like, no. Like, saying fucked up shit is saying fucked up shit. That's why I brought up Dub the first time that I spoke about this, and put that in correlation. Because the same way that Dub gets on here and says fucked up shit is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So we can't cherry pick and throw fire on one side and not throw it on the other side. Because this is what I say. And I pointed this out before, and a couple of my brothers have pointed this out. They say these things about my community, right? Okay, well, how many of them actually will go to the hood? They say they care about black people, right? They say they care about the conditions and what's going on with us, right? So how come they ain't never go to the hood? How come they ain't step foot in one of them projects in the hood? One of them rundown houses that barely gets clean water in there, and you know what I'm saying, the kids got to go to the store and buy the water to bring just to take a damn bath. See, people can sit there and talk about it, and when something happens, they'll be like, "Well," No, go to the hood. Go to the hood. Fuck what's going on with what people say on the internet, on TV and all. No, bring your ass to the hood. If that's what you really feel, bring your ass to the hood. You know why they don't want to go to the hood? Because they know they cannot say what they're saying in the hood. Because he would not make it out the hood. A shot to the neck. He'd have got a lot more than that. But people don't think about that. They see black people with some money and they just, eyes get big and like that all of us. And that's what pisses us off, is because we got people up here talking about us, but they won't go to the hood to actually do something about it. Rather yet, you get Donald Trump, and he just wants to bring in the military and just take everybody out. And trust me, no military action is needed. It's a simple cooperation between the community and the politicians that control what goes on. And as long as it's only a one-sided operation, you see what goes on. Don't be blind to the reality of this. This is real life that my people have to go through. There's a lot of y'all that ain't got to worry about getting kicked out of your neighborhoods. That's what my people are going through and have been going through. But y'all say y'all care about the black community. Y'all care about what goes on in the hood. No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be talking about it. You would be in the hood doing something about it. Yo, what up, Tyler? Nah, it ain't got nothing to do with culture. It got everything to do with power, money, control. And then using race as a factor to divide, move away, replace. Now, unless you're in a position to where whatever they do is not going to affect you. But these are the things that people keep on ignoring. Do you realize that I see more things and more concerns about other communities than I do in my own community? Like I come on the internet or I turn on the TV and, you know, if I decide to put on the news or whatever the case may be, I see all this coverage about everybody else's condition. But we're still at the bottom of the barrel. And don't let them rappers and actors and see, that's entertainment. But even a lot of them will tell you. But at the same time, a lot of them, I want to kick in their ass too. Shout out to Alonzo Mourning, by the way. Providing homes, education. Yeah, if y'all ain't seen what that man just did, man, y'all better go see what that man just did. He doing what a whole lot of them motherfuckers should be doing. So I'm gonna end on this. To know a community is to be in that community. And unless you've been in that community, you probably shouldn't say shit about that community. Because things can get bad. And if you really, really, really empathize and actually care, then the next time one of them fools get up on TV and say the things that they say about my community or I can't speak for anybody else's community, but for my community, just remember what I said tonight. And just keep that in mind. That although you may not disagree with what they're saying, but they're hurting the same people that you say you care about. And with that said, y'all, I'm up out of here. We can have nice things. We do have nice things. But that's what I'm talking about. You can't group the whole black community in one pot. And that's what you just did. We can have nice things. We do have nice things. But you have to know what areas to go into, what areas to live. Shoot, every white neighborhood ain't perfect. You go into some white neighborhoods and you will get your ass jacked, shot, come up missing. You go into the barrios. Shit. Same thing. But then you got other neighborhoods where it's nice, it's cool, it's peaceful, it's calm, and you ain't got to worry about that stuff. But it really doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, if those conditions are not being taken care of, any neighborhood can get turned into a hood and a project. Hey, Chrissy, how you doing? So I'm going to end with that. And for everybody to watch this back, just take in what I'm saying. Because I'm not saying this or that. I'm being very, very direct. Understand what I'm saying. You may not disagree with what they're saying, but what they're saying is hurtful to the people you say you care about. And I'm up out of here. All right. Y'all have a good night. Peace.